All right, we live.
All
We
right, all right, Khan. Shalom, shalom. Call Halal, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, and Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and the elders that rule world. Brothers, the elders that taught us the truth coming up. Salutations to the brothers that's keeping on pushing throughout the four corners of the earth, doing the works. To the men that's coming into the fold. The dead in Yahweh Shah shall rise first. To the Israelite foreigner brothers out there that believe, and a few sisters that also believe too. So now we're getting in the topic right here on the 2/3, man, because summertime's coming back around. I know you see it every year, but you starting to see more. You starting to see the fuck shit again. So we're gonna rebuke it again in the spirit. About the wickedness of our people. So I'm going to start out with Deuteronomy 28 and 43 in the King James Version. Then we're going to get it in the NLT, the New Living Translation. So this is Deuteronomy 28:43. Salakia, flip the page. It was right there. The stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high. And that's Esau and the other nations. They got above us very high. Where they look like they're the prestigious people, where they look like they the health conscious ones, because where they look like they the intelligent ones. Now, when you think of a thief or a crook or a robber, you just know it's Israel. When you hear like a 12-year-old, it's like these niggas out here shooting in the Bronx killed this little Ephraimite girl. That shit like major thing all week and shit. So, but they never said what her nationality was. But when you hear about like wickedness, like kids dying and shootings and shit, you just know it's our people and shit. You know what I'm saying? Acting like fucking animals, and really they acting worse than animals and lower than the fucking animals, which we about to get into. You know what I'm saying? So shall get upon thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Now you go to the blue letter, it didn't give too much on that word. It just says to come down low, but it really means to come to like a lower state. You know what I mean? To you so low, like you beneath the animals, like somebody, and that's basically what name calling is. When you belittle somebody to an animal, an untrustworthy person, you will call them a snake. A cop, you will call them a pig. Women like to call men dogs and shit. But dogs could be used in a sense from a man perspective as something good. Like, yo, this is my dog right here. Because a dog shows forth loyalty. And Caleb, Joshua and Caleb in the Hebrew is Kalab, which means dog. You know what I mean? Because they brought back a faithful report to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? So then the Lord in the scripture, he also said, "Well, cast not thy pearls before the to the swan, neither give which is holy unto the dogs." You know what I'm saying? So dog is kind of one of those words that could use like neither way. But anytime you belittle somebody to like an animal of a low degree, it's kind of like a curse word, like the Lord called Herod a fox. You know what I'm saying? But however, to really think about it, you can't even really call these niggas amongst our people. And when I say niggas, I mean all 12 of the tribes. You can't even call them, compare them to animals, because the shit they do is actually, they became lower than the fucking animals. So you could get that in the NLT, and
I
I'll
got you.
pass it on a couple precepts.
I
Yep.
appreciate that after you bring that out.
Con. Deuteronomy 28 and 43. This is from the NLT. It says, "The foreigners living among you will become stronger and stronger, while you become weaker and weaker."
Right, and not weaker and weaker. And one part of weakness is not being able to control your anger. You know what I'm saying? Frustrated, violent, and each generation it gets worse and worse. Because if you look at Jake from the 50s, you know what I'm saying? Just dealing with Judah mainly. You look at Judah in the 50s, like 90% of our Israelite families, Judites, was married in America. Now is like the divorce rate, the single mother rate, the degenerate children, the low lives of society, and the shit our people got into is it's getting worse and worse. Like in the 90s, it was a bunch of thug ass niggas. Now those thug ass niggas turned into like homo thugs. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's getting like worse and worse. And actually, if brothers watch The Wire, they showed you that in The Wire. That's one thing I like about The Wire, the show on Baltimore drug incidents and shit. Basically, they showed you in The Wire, like when Stringer Bell and Barksdale was around, they showed you like when they had to use cell phones, they had to use beepers, they spoke in code. It was like a street code that they actually abide by. But when the newer generation came in later on, it showed you that, you know, they didn't have no type of street code. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have no way that they sold drugs. They even offered the captain when he had pulled up. He had a fucking white shirt on too. They was like, "Yo, what you want? What you want?" And they not really. He ain't even arrested. He like, "Yo, man, I'm a fucking cop," and it was just showing you that whole Wire seasons. It basically showed you on the street level the degrading of Jake from even on a fucking street level and the morals and the different things to the low lives we become today. So I'm gonna let y'all brothers come in.
Oh my bad. Omar sayings he would always say is a man gotta have a code. You know, he would quote that quite often in that show, like man gotta have a code, man. You know?
Right. Because even we followed the law, statutes, and commandments, we had some type of morals about ourselves, of honor. Like, even though you in the streets, it was no snitching. Now, snitching is defined as me and you do a crime, and you tell on your homeboy because you got caught so you could do less time. That's snitching. That was considered dishonorable. Snitching is not you kill somebody outside and a neighbor called the police on you. That's not snitching. Snitching really originally dealt with something personally that you had an agreement to do with a friend and you threw him under the bus so you could get a lighter sentence. That's actually what snitching is. If you selling fucking drugs outside my house and I call the police on you, I didn't fucking snitch on you. You know what I'm saying? Snitching is really dealt with personal things, but now they brought in a whole term of it. You know what I'm saying? You can't sell drugs to a pregnant woman. You can't sell drugs to a little kid. You know what I'm saying? These was all honorable street codes that, you know, no robbing. Even when Cain, AWACS, and O-Dog was going to take vengeance and menace to society, Cain was stressing the point of what? I'm not going to kill no old people. I'm not shooting no old people. Because, you know, a lot of bullets, stray bullets fly through windows and shit like that. He didn't want that on his conscience or no kids. Scarface, he was about to blow the dude up. He saw the family jumping and shit. He like, nah, you know. So men had some type of honor and some type of code or some type of, you couldn't do shit that was just honorable amongst men.
That's right. You got a precept, Shamyar?
Yeah, based on a statement he made, how Jake become low, you know, lower than an animal. Mm-hmm. But this is John 8:44. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. So, you know, relating, you know, saying that Jake has become like their father, the devil, is putting them on a level of being a bastard, because we want to be seen in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Yahshai as friends or as sons of the Most High, you know, Yatra Allah, princes of the power, you know, relating them to being of their father, the devil, because he was a murderer from the beginning. He was the basis of all creation, you know, and fulfilling his lust and being that murderer, you know, who abode not in the truth. And that's why, you know, you see a lot of Jake, they don't have a code. They become faithless, damn near like a woman. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
And all them scriptures on Esau, you can fold on Jake, because you are of your father. Because Jake do basically what Esau do, just on a higher level. You know what I'm saying? Esau do it on a higher level. Jake do it on a lower level.
Mhm.
Like Esau, bomb a whole fucking country and kill women and children. Jake could just shoot up a neighborhood and kill one or two kids or something. You know what I'm saying? But Esau mimicked all them Edomite scriptures. Not all of them, but majority of them is applied like the wicked. I saw the wicked spreading itself like a green bay tree. That's these niggas with their gangs and the fucking, all of those Edomite scriptures of the Lord cursing out Esau. It fits to 2/3 of Jake, just on a lower scale.
That's right.
I got something real fast. Just to back the elder and the brother Shamyar up, man. I got Isaiah 56:4. I'm gonna start at 4 because it gives the whole context of who the Lord is addressing and who the Lord is basically calling beast. So I'm gonna start at the 4th verse of Isaiah 56. But thus saith the Lord unto the eunuchs that keep my Sabbath and choose the things that please me and take hold of my covenant. And this is milk. You basically know that the Israelites were the only ones that's given the law, statutes, and the covenants. Uh, Verse 5, even unto them I will give in my house and within my walls a place and a name better than of sons and of daughters. I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off. Also the sons of the stranger that join themselves to the Lord to serve him and to love the name of the Lord to be his servants, even one that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it and taketh hold of my covenant. And basically this is a precursor of us as a people going off from the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahushua and being called, Gentiles and being called, basically being the outskirts of Israel. Here's the point right here though. Verse 7. Even them will I bring to my holy mountain and make them joyful in my house of prayer, and their burnt offerings and their sacrifices shall be accepted upon my altar. For my house shall be called a house of prayer for all people. The Lord Yahweh will gather the outskirts of Israel, saith, yeah, I will gather others to him besides those that are gathered to him. All ye beasts of the field come to devour, all ye beasts of the field. His watchmen are blind, they are ignorant, they are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. And that's going over a multitude of things, but it's talking about our people going into a Gentile state and us not having the proper leadership. Well, we do have the proper leadership, but there's a lot of false prophets in Israel, that's leading the people astray. But the Lord is right now addressing the Israelite foreigners that will not come back to the fold, also addressing us because at one point we were outside of the fold thinking that we was niggas, African Americans, doing, things that were abominable to the Lord, getting tattoos and going to church on Sunday and thinking that was normal. But basically and that's why Yahushua quoted Yeshaya or Isaiah the most because there's a lot of meat in these books, and a lot of times Isaiah will go over the precursor of us falling away from the law, statutes, commandments, and becoming Gentiles and becoming dogs like the Syrophoenician woman. When Yahweh Shai basically ignored her at first, but then she said even the dogs eat from the scraps of the master's table, roughly paraphrasing. He knew that she was an Israelite, but she was referring to herself as a dog because she knew, that the Gentiles were referred to as dogs, in that state, or brute beasts or animals. And that's and one more thing, I don't want to ramble, but one more thing, that vision that Peter saw with Yahushua, and when Yahushua told Peter, "Go and devour," the beast and the abominable things and the creatures. That was talking about the Israelite foreigners, in a lost state. But like Yahushua said, you cannot call that unclean, which I will make clean. You know, so just
Right.
basically touching on that.
Yeah. Hey, that's a beautiful point, man. That's a beautiful point. Uh, get y'all brothers got some?
Yeah, I got some
All right.
real quick. Isaiah 1 and 2. It says in the King James, "Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth. For Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh shall have spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me." Yep. You got it, Elder.
Uh, go on. Read on.
Yep. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider.
And that's a major sign of a nigger. You know what I'm saying? Niggas are fucking inconsiderate, you know, and it's all about themselves, and they not mindful or they not conscious of the decisions they make it or how it affect others. They just about greed, they just about gain, and they come up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they inconsiderate, and that's something I look out for when I meet people. You know, to see if you are inconsiderate. You know, then sometimes you don't do it intentionally, or you'll tell them about it, and someone like shrug these shoulders or it's no big deal. You know, because that's not the spirit of the elect. You know, we consider Yahweh Shai, we consider the scriptures. We consider, our things we say, things we do, and we consider the brotherhood while we amongst them and dealing with them. Because Yahweh Shah told us to be considerate while dealing with a brother. He said, if you do it to the least of them, you do it to me. So one thing about niggas is that they fucking very inconsiderate, you know?
That's right. That's right. I'm gonna get you the fourth verse too. Ah, sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward. Keep reading.
No, that's it. That's good. Give me Jeremiah 2 and 21.
Okay. This right here is the book of Jeremiah 2. Chapter. I'm gonna just pull it up on Blue Letter. 2 and 21. Yep. Jeremiah 2 and 21. Yet I had planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed. How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me?
Yeah, and that's what happened to Israel, man. You know, they was a holy and right seed. You know, the Lord set us up nice, you know, with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the patriots on down, you know. But he said, now you have turned into a strange plant. You know, and when you go into that word strange, it's nakar, which that's a word for actual heathen, but Jake hasn't became actual heathens. It's just that they became in like this heathenistic state. So thou hast turned into a strange vine unto me. Read on.
Salakia. Yep. I had the word there for strange if you wanted it.
Right. Go ahead.
Yeah, real quick. H5235 Nakar, and it says or it says Nakaria. It says foreign, alien, foreigner, foreign woman, harlot, unknown, unfamiliar.
Right. But because you got Gar and you got Nakar. Gar normally goes to the Israelite foreigners, like from Moses' son Garsha, you know.
Yep.
Because he was born outside the land, you know. But that's where the word gar comes from. But you got Nakar, which actual means an actual heathen. But in this sense, it's just like these jakes right here wasn't kind of brought up in a heathenistic way. They actually willingly took on the ways of the heathen. So that's why it uses actually the word like Nakar.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you got Gar and Nakar, they are to be distinguished, but sometimes you can have Nakar in the sentence when it's applying to Jake, and this is one of them. Yeah. But it's still referring to our people dealing with heathenistic ways. So context clues is important to decipher.
I got a elder, if I can break it out real fast.
Okay.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 2 and verse 12. That at that time ye were without Hamashiach, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel and strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope and without the Most High in the world. So it says being aliens from the commonwealth. So it's given a noun, a descriptive noun on what our people would become or what our people have become from the commonwealth of Israel. And that really just dismantles this whole, thing that anybody can just come into the fold. The Israelite foreigners are basically talking about Israelites, like y'all, were, driving the point home, that these aliens or that these foreigners or that these Hellenists were basically Israelites that adopted or adapted to the ways of the heathen, because we were in multiple captivities, and and I think one of the brothers brought it out, or I think the elder brought it out, was basically when we took that covenant, when they took that covenant with the heathen, I think that was in the Greek captivity. Took was that First Maccabees? We took the covenant with the heathen, saying that we were gonna.
Yeah, Maccabees 1 and 14.
Yep.
That's right. Yep. On point, bro.
Hey, read that again. 2 and 21.
Ephesians 2 and 12. That at that time.
No,
he was saying Jeremiah.
Yeah. Slaki.
That's all good. Jeremiah 2 and 21. Yet I have planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed. How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me?
Right, and Jake become degenerates. And when you go into the word degenerate, now people misuse this word because they're like, you're a degenerate, and they just think it means a piece of shit or like a low life person, like a thug or something. But degenerate doesn't mean that. D is a prefix which means against.
Right.
Like you'd be like defrost, go against freezing, degrade against grading. Anytime you use D, it means against. So generate, right, come from the word gene. And who carried the gene? The man, the father. Raza, race come from the word Raza, which means gene, and the man carried the gene, the father. So gene come from the root word like fathers, because your lineage, because the man carried the line, the lineage, the seed. So when you say gene or degenerate, it means one who's against their ancestral ways. Mm-hmm. So matter of fact, Bible etymology.com, degenerate, it should tell you.
Yeah, I had the definition of it too, but I know you want the etymology. It says degenerate, to lose or suffer impairment to the qualities proper to the race or kind. Ooh.
Right. So to go against, basically, is to go against one ancestral ways. Like Esau, you cannot call Esau a degenerate because Esau is doing the things his forefathers did, which is being the fucking devil. That's what he was made to be. Moab and the other nations, they stick to the customs of their people. Mm-hmm. For the most part, unless they come over here and become westernized. But still, all of that is still heathenistic ways. But the real people that's really degenerates is Jake, because they going against their ancestral ways. You know, our forefathers.
Yep.
You know, and eat shrimp, pork, crab, lobster, and commit adultery. That wasn't in the upbringing of Israel and the Torah. You know, the law, statutes, and commandments on, you know, how we should behave and conduct ourselves.
Khan, I wanted to grab the rest of it too for you because it goes into what you're saying.
Right.
Oh, okay. I was like, what's that noise? I guess that was outside. It says to be inferior to one's ancestors, to become unlike one's race or kind, fall from ancestral quality.
Right.
Wow.
Far from ancestral quality. And that's what these niggas become. They got fucking bald heads. They got dreads. They cut their beard off. They eat shrimp, pork, crab, lobster, oysters, every damn fuck gator tail. They eat every damn fucking abomination on earth.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yep. So Esau and the nations will be generate because they're perfectly in the order of how the Lord made them to be, which is wicked. Heathenistic.
Right.
Yep.
Heathenistic. Right. So the real degenerates is Israel.
That's right.
You know, you really can't call a heathen a degenerate. Mm-hmm. You know, unless he start keeping the law, statutes, and commandments.
Hey, can I read the etymology?
I mean, you know, compared, you know, the way how the world uses it, it don't make sense. But if you know the true meaning of words, it makes sense.
Can you read the etymology of that real quick?
Yeah. Bring it
out. Degenerate, having lost or suffered impairment to the qualities proper to the race or kind, to be inferior to one's ancestors, to become unlike one's race or kind, fall from ancestral quality.
Yeah, kind. That's a banger too.
So Esau, he only been what he was always created to be. He didn't fall. You know, he didn't have any integrity or anything from the beginning. You know,
right? That's why you really can't get mad at the heathens. You know, you get mad at Jake, really, because everything in the universe is in order except Israel.
That's right.
You know, the angels doing what they supposed to do. Satan and the demons is doing what they supposed to do. The Lord is doing what they supposed to do. Esau is doing what he's supposed to do. The other heathens, they doing what they supposed to do. The animals, well, under Esau rule, the animals are starting to lose order. But for the most part, the animals is living their lives how they supposed to live. The insects is living their lives how they supposed to live. Only main thing that's out of fucking course in the whole universe is our fucking people.
That's right.
That's right. Quick point.
That's why the angels rejoice when one brother repent. Because once Jay get in their proper estate, everything could go back into its natural form.
Kind. If I could make
and that's why the heathens fight so hard to keep us down.
That's right.
You know?
That's
but
right.
Go ahead, brother.
My fault, Elder. My fault. I don't mean to cut you off. I just want
to. All good. You know that fiery spirit just kicking sometimes.
Yeah, Khan. When you go into Degenerate 2 on Google, it says showing evidence of decline. So that means you was on a higher point at one point, and you came down from that higher point, which was going back to our forefathers. And when you go into Daniel 4:17. It says, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the Holy One, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men and giveth it to whomsoever he will and setteth up over it the basest of men. And base means low. So Esau, he started off low and he's continuing in his lineage of being low. So he can't, like the elder saying, he can't be a degenerate.
Right. You know,
hey,
except in the kingdom when we start cracking his head and make him start keeping the law, statutes, and commandments.
That's right.
You know, because they was never meant. Well, ultimately, if you want to dig deep, everything that has life supposed to praise Yahweh Shem Yahushua. If you want to dig deep, You know, because after the 1,000-year captivity, just on this side, but all the heathens, Moab, all of them supposed to be praising Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Ain't no false gods and none of that bullshit. That's just on this fake ass side over here. But if you really want to, you know, brothers be rapping and shit. I said at one point, I said, I'm so ahead of my time, I'm chilling with heathens. You know what I'm saying? So, and you think like, damn, like why would you be hanging out with heathens? Because really after 1,000 years and they into their own land or this and that, it's gonna be peace on earth. So they gonna be praising Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and things is gonna go kind of back into its normal essence, and Esau ass gonna be exterminated off the face of the earth. That's if you want to go far into the future.
Right.
I got
a precept for you, Elder. My fault, brother. Go ahead, Yeshai. Go ahead, Yeshai.
All right. Just to back up the elder, man. This is Romans 8:19. For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of the Most High. So even the heathens are waiting for them to get their lands back, because even though they're gonna go into slavery just like Esau, they're gonna get a portion or a pocket of the earth where they can, habitate, where they can, do their thing. Of course, they're going to be under the law, statutes, commandments, but they're still waiting on the 144,000 to be risen up under King David, under Yahushua, under Yahweh, to rule this earth in righteousness, man. All right, it's a little bit more on this. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willing, but by reason of him who have subjected the same in hope. All right, so everything that we're going through, man, even from Adam going off from Eve, man, was to actually prepare us and to make us lowercase g gods. You gotta know good and you gotta know evil to be a god. And we had to go through that falling away. We had to go through all of that just to know the left hand side, because we were created, as Israelites, we just knew good, but the Lord had it to where, okay, that happened. Now we learn evil. Now we're learning both sides of the spectrum, so we can rule, Lord willing, be a part of that number, the whole universe, man.
That's right.
Right, bro.
Beautiful. Hey, that brother got them nice pointers. That's what's up, man.
Your problem. And I had another precept to add to your point, Elder, if I may.
Yeah, gotta break it out.
Yup. Romans 14:11. For it is written, as I live, saith the Lord, every knee shall bow to me, and every tongue shall confess to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Yep. Every knee shall bow. So, everybody's going to bow when Yahushua returns, man. Even though it is going to be some that are proud, but eventually they are going to bow, whether they be broken or whether they be put to death. Either way, it goes.
Hey, what it say? Them who will not worship me, bring them hither and slay them before me.
That's right. So everyone that will be continuing to live will bow to the Lord. If you ain't going to bow to the Lord, then it's death.
Right.
Yep, that was it.
Okay. Give me Isaiah 1:20.
Yep, this is the book of Isaiah 1:20. But if ye refuse and rebel, ye shall be devoured with the sword, for the mouth of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua have spoken it.
Yeah, and that's what's happening now, because our people still refusing the word and they still rebelling. So that judgment is coming down. And sometimes you feel sorry for Jake, but sometimes you be like, man, fuck that. These niggas deserve that shit. Like you don't care. Like You know, a lot of shit judgment that be happening. You know, they be doing a lot of fucking wickedness themselves. You know, but a lot of people don't. You know, the news don't bring that out. You know, their wickedness. They just make it look like that they was victims. You know.
All right.
God.
But on the other hand, because the scripture say, "Who perished being innocent." But a lot of our people be doing a bunch of fucking wickedness. Then when the judgment come down, it's such a horror story, this and that. But nah, at the end of the day, they had what was fucking coming to them.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I read down to verse 4.
Con. Isaiah 1 and 4.
No, read. You started at 1, right?
No, 1 in 20.
He was at 1 and 20.
Jump up to verse 2.
Con, we had brought that out, but we
brought that out already.
All right, I ain't know, my bad.
but we can bring it out again, if y'all want to.
Well, if not, just bring out verse 4.
Okay, Con. Isaiah 1 and 4. Alas, O sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a brood of evildoers, children of depravity. They have forsaken Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. They have despised the Holy One of Israel and turned their backs on him.
Oh, what translation you in, huh?
Yeah,
that's a different. Yeah, my fault. I'm on Bible Hub. That's the BSB. I don't even know which translation that is.
I was like, oh,
that was good too. Like, I can get it in the KJV.
Yeah, that still was good though.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you got to go back and forth through the other translations because Esau think they smarter than the Most High, but the Most High used them just to edify. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's
especially with that Israelite foreigner topic.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That Israelite, those other translations, when it comes to that Israelite foreigner topic, is shitting on the King James version.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Man, though you want to use that NIV, man, on the Good News Bible and all that. Yeah, man, that man, on certain topics, man, those are sword. That's a sword you kind of want to use.
Yeah.
Yep.
His whole tongue fall upon himself.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah, matter of fact, after this, I'll get a quick example. With that.
I got a quick precept too, if I may.
Yeah, Con.
Jeremiah 11 and 14. Therefore, pray not thou for this people, neither lift up a cry or a prayer for them, for I will not hear them in the time that they cry unto me for their trouble.
Yeah, so really, fuck Israel if they don't want to get right and get with the program. Like, you got enough brothers now that's waking up and coming into the fold that's trying to get serious, And, the parable of the 10 virgins coming back around. You got a lot of brothers that fell out, went back into the world for years, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And as these prophecies roll, they're going to start surfacing. But it's like, yo, you got to stand at the back of the line. That's even if you make it up to the front of the line before the doors of repentance close.
Right.
Because it's like, yo, there's new fruits coming in that want a chance to learn. You had your chance and you fucking played around with it. Now you're trying to come back and do this and that. Like, you can't just jump to the front of the line. You gotta wait. Like you gotta wait at the back of the line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the righteous works you did don't follow you, man.
Yep. That was it on that though.
That's why I say turn me back. But since you in the Bible Hub, you had something, bro?
Oh no, I was just saying that was crazy because the brother brought out that Jeremiah 11 and 14, and if I'm not mistaken, in that movie, that's how they know we them people. That Jordan Peele movie, was it Us? They used Jeremiah 11 and 11.
Yeah.
Another movie. Yeah. And it said basically the same thing. Is if I can read it real fast, it says, "Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will bring evil upon them, which they shall not be able to escape. And though they shall cry unto me, I will not hearken unto them." And why would they put that in a movie, man?
Right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
heavy. Yeah, that's
I
heavy.
think didn't the guy have that on his sign?
Yep. Had it on the
Yeah,
side.
yep.
Yep. And
But
that's
see,
why,
like,
when my fault, bro. Go ahead.
like,
Go ahead,
go ahead. Bro.
Yeah, no, a quick point I was gonna make too, like going into what the elder had mentioned, when a judgment goes out upon Jake on the news, everybody wants to victimize Jake, but we know full well the wickedness of our people. So we sitting here like, man, we know what these niggas is about. We know what Jake is about. So we coming out here. The real labor of love is not that fake bullshit on the news when a nigga dies and everybody wants to feel bad. This is the true love to warn you so that that judgment don't come upon you.
Right.
You know? Not just
That's
afterwards, after the judgment goes out, then everybody want to feel bad. It's like, nah, keep the same energy because they don't like Jake anyways, you know? But we over here, this is a working labor of love to teach you, to turn you away from the ways that lead to death. We speak in life, Yahushua.
Yeah. And low key be showing love, man. Jake died before Jacob's trouble, man, and you don't got to catch a nuke or go through Jacob's trouble and starve to death or do whatever. You basically in a good state, even though you got to come back in the kingdom of heaven as a babe or in everlasting contempt. But you up there with your house shop, man.
Yep.
You know, we want to be up there, like you know.
Yeah.
So,
mercy kill.
Con.
Yep.
Another thing too to remember that some Jakes are so wicked that the Lord got a special judgment where he could put them to death and then raise them up when the fire hits.
Yeah.
Dang,
still
that's
to
deep, bro.
kill your ass to really make you feel it. If the Lord is that vexed, you know, it's that's why we fear the Lord. Knowing the terrors of the Lord, we persuade men.
That's right.
Damn.
Yep. You got anything? You got any precepts?
Yeah, go to the Bible Hub right quick. I just wanted to show y'all like how these other translations can be edifying. Get Malachi 1 and 3.
Come on. Yep. This right here is the book of Malachi.
And the King James.
Yep. From the King James, it says, "And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness."
Right, so because it's broken up between 1 and 2, because in 2 it says, "For I loved Jacob and I hated Esau." But everybody, like, if you in the truth, you're familiar with the scripture. So a lot of people will argue that, it hated Esau, or it hated what Esau did. That's what the Christians say. He didn't actually hate Esau himself. Or they would say, oh no, he just hated Esau, not his people, not a whole race of people. Right. But when you get to understanding, go to the Good News translation and read verse 3.
Yep, I got it. This is in the GNT, the Good News translation, Malachi 1 and 3, and have hated Esau and his descendants. Ooh.
Right. So if you start at 2, go to 2.
God, 2. How about Shem Yahushua says to his people, "I have always loved you," but they reply, "How have you shown your love for us?"
Dang. That's it right there. Like what?
Yeah. Hashem Yahushua answers, "Esau and Jacob were brothers, but I have loved Jacob and his descendants, and have hated Esau and his descendants."
Right. So that's like, so some of these translations, that's why, you know, as a studying tool, it's always sometimes good to check. One good reason the Bible Hub got, you know, it can scroll through these translations. They got them all linked up. You just scroll through them. You know what I'm saying? So you could check. One, as a studying tool, sometimes it's better to check, you know, these different translations because it can edify the point. You bring the point even home more.
And when you do it on the blue letter, you just hit Bible comparison, and it'll bring up the different translations as well. If you want a blue letter.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know if this feature. I don't know if that feature always been around, but always known it to be on Bible Hub, like you said.
Yeah, I always fuck with the Bible Hub because it line them straight up, and you could like glance through it. You know, even with the Mary being a virgin, it tell you young woman in some of those translations, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But you know, that's another lesson, really. Uh,
If I
okay,
may,
Isaiah 1:20.
may I read the fourth verse because it goes into your point?
Okay, cut.
Malachi 1:4. If Esau's descendants, the Edomites, say, "Our towns have been destroyed, but we will rebuild them," then Yahweh Hashem Yahushua will reply, "Let them build. I will tear them down again. People will call them the evil country, and the nation with whom the Lord is angry forever."
Woo!
Whoa, the nation.
Yeah, that's heavy. That's heavy. So that's a cutter, you know, on the Christians that try to say, "Oh, it was just Esau, not a whole nation of people," or it wasn't Esau. He hated what Esau did.
He hates the sin. He
Yeah,
hates the sin.
yeah, that's what they say and shit. But this is a stone cold cutter, you know, all that. But Isaiah 1:20.
Okay, back to Isaiah 1:20. You want that in the good news?
No, just straight up KJV.
It's kind of heavy in the good news, but I get the King James first.
Okay.
Yeah, kind.
That good news Bible is bad, man.
Yeah, it be going in.
Man, you read Isaiah 30, you read Isaiah 34 in that good news Bible, man, that shit is brutal. Woo. That's like a fucking Michael Myers scene. For real. Some Jason Voorhees shit. I'm like, damn.
What chapter was that on?
You read that Isaiah 34 in that GNT, Good News Translation.
Oh, okay, come.
That's a bad, that GNT. I mean, a couple of other ones, the NIV hit on shit too, but that GNT, I would say outside of the KJV, I mean, it even got the KJV beat on certain aspects, you know what I'm saying? So that GNT, man, yeah.
Yep. Hey, that GNT is TNT.
For real. On certain topics, man, that GNT be dropping it.
Ooh. Yeah. So I got you here in the KJV, Isaiah 1:20. But if ye refuse and rebel, ye shall be devoured with the sword, for the mouth of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua have spoken it.
Read on.
21st verse. How is the faithful city becoming harlot? It was full of judgment, righteousness.
Right, and that's our people. We dealt with the Lord primarily, but now our people went off into all these other gods. You know, and Jake sinned, but once we start worshiping other gods, that done it for the Lord, you know? Like the same thing, your woman could trespass against you, but once she commit adultery, that's like, all right, now bitch, you crossed the line. You know, you blew all the money in the bank, you stole from me, you fucking crashed my Benz, you can't divorce her. But if she commit adultery, you gotta that's the drawing line, and that's what it was. So we become like a harlot, you know. At one point we was faithful to the Lord. We was full of judgment, like I was saying. We had manners, you know. Even back then, like you couldn't eat with your elbows on the table. You couldn't talk with your mouth full of food. You couldn't hang around adults. You know what I'm saying? It was like order in the house outside the law, statutes, and commandments. Our people still had some type of structure to them, not even going back that many years ago.
Con. Can I get those same two verses in the GNT to illustrate the point you made, Baba Kushal?
Bring it up.
Yeah, in the GNT is this same verses we just read, Isaiah 1:20. But if you defy me, you are doomed to die.
Yeah, I told you, that GNT, man, you be like, damn, like, Bloody Rah-Rah wrote this shit, like, the Lord, I'm like, yo, whoever, like, translated that, they had no mercy. Them judgment scriptures be hard body. God damn. Bring that back.
They need to call it the bad news translation for a lot of Isaiah 1:20. But if you defy me, you are doomed to die.
Damn.
I, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, have spoken. The city that once was faithful is behaving like a whore. At one time, it was filled with righteous people, but now only murderers remain.
Whoa.
Damn.
Heavy.
Shit. Read on.
22nd verse. Jerusalem, you were once like silver, but now you are worthless. You were like good wine, but now you are only water.
Right. And 22, it says in the KJV, it said, thou silver has become dross. So meaning, like, if you know about metals, right, if you don't clean it, like I was at, like, we buy jewels and shit like that over here at this camp. Certain brothers, right, that's into that. So I'm one of them, right? I'm chilling with Shemyar and B more. But my jewelry was like dull and down, but it's gold. But it was dirty though. You know what I'm saying? So with metals and shit, if you don't clean them or like, you could wear it, but that shit'll look like some bullshit. But little do you know, like, nah, that shit is actual gold. It's just tarnished. And that's Israel, because right here it says, see, that's why you gotta watch the translations, because it says they become worthless. And 2/3 have become worthless, but it says that silver has become dross, right? So in this translation, it's just showing you that it's still actually silver, but it's dross, meaning y'all still Israelites, y'all still God's chosen people, y'all just covered with filth, that to the point that y'all spiritually unrecognizable.
Right.
Con, that's right. That's right. Yep. You want me to get it back in the KJV?
Yeah. Nah, you could keep going. Because I'm following in the KJV. But so go ahead.
Okay. Yep. 23rd verse. Your leaders are rebels.
Oh, no, that wine mixed with water.
Mm-hmm.
You finished that in 22?
Yep. Yeah. I'll go back to it. You were like good wine, but now you are only water.
Right. But right here it says thy wine mixed with water. Right. So now it's just showing how Israel mainly Islam, Christianity, right? They both is watered down versions of the truth.
Right.
So it's just showing you how the wine is actually mixed with water. Because what? They watered down versions of the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That's
right.
why in those religions you got room to be a nigga in it.
Right, it's watered down. Like, say you got some Kingdom wine, or how should I say, and you mix it with some fucking Flint, Michigan water. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what Christianity has done to the truth, to the Bible, to the Word, and so has Islam, because Islam is nothing but a watered down Bible. Well, if you understand it and you go deep into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But 23.
Yep. It says your leaders are rebels and friends of thieves. They are always accepting gifts and bribes. They never defend orphans in court or listen when widows present their case.
Right. That's evident through the courtroom and so on, dealing with our people. But that's it on that. Mm-hmm. So I want to hit a couple of definition points that we could close out. Get brute beasts.
You want the precept?
Yeah. What's that, Peter 2:12?
Yeah, 2:12.
You got it, Shamyar.
All right, Con. It's 2 Peter chapter 2, so like 2 and verse 12. But these as natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed, speak evil of the things that they understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption.
Right. And that's what happened to Jake. They own wickedness, but the Lord said, thy own wickedness shall correct thee.
Con.
You know, you shall perish in your own corruption. But what the Lord called them is brute beasts. So going to that word brute in the blue letter,
I got it.
and we're going to try to Bible hub some translations on it, and
Okay.
then we're going to pull up the regular definition in the on the Webster's
Okay.
and
Con.
try to
So,
get some synonyms going for brute.
right. Right. Yep. So it says here, in the Greek, it's alogos, which is G3056, alogos. And it says the definition for brute, it says destitute of reason, contrary to reason, absurd.
Yeah, and that's Jake for you. I ain't trying to hear that shit. Man, nah, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Irrational.
and that's the mentality of Jake. Like, yo, I'm not trying to hear nothing. I'm not trying to hear no peace, man. Fuck peace. You know what I'm saying? And that was that you got even Tupac, I could use him for example. You know, fuck peace, you know, because what a lot of people was talking that peace shit between him and Biggie. You know what I mean? And his mentality was like, fuck that, I ain't piecing it up. Because Jake don't really know how to take the low. I ain't trying to hear that shit. Nah, fuck that. Whatever. And one of the favorite words of the nigga woman is what? Whatever.
Yep.
Yep.
Or save that shit for the birds. And all of these words. You know what I'm saying? And this shows you we don't know who the 2/3 are, but as we look into these definitions and the behavior of certain people, we can spot out these characteristics in our people and know that they possibly 2/3, at least they repent.
Right.
So I'm gonna get that.
These type of people you want to stay away from until, you know, at least they come to some type of common sense, man. They lack reasoning, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to deal with a situation properly. You know what I mean? Without Jake thinks since he yelled, it makes him right. You know what I'm saying? Jake think like, yo, if I beat you up, that's gonna stop with the truth that's being said. I mean, if you beat me up, it's gonna stop me from possibly speaking for the moment. However, that don't make what I said prior to you beating me up not true.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what Jake, they take their anger and frustrations out. They don't know how to deal with a situation properly. Eve, she don't know how to talk to you without fucking moving her neck. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, as I deal with women, you know, I try to be real stern when I deal with women, because if you're not there, just run over you, especially westernized women. However, I always tell them, like, watch your base when we talk to me. Like, we can talk without, we don't have to name call when we talk. You know what I'm saying? That shit is uncalled for. We don't have to say you motherfucker or fuck you, this and that. Just because I'm upset at something you said or did, I could still maintain my approach and still deal with you in a civilized way, in a civilized manner. But one thing Eva do, she'll take the bass out of her voice, but when she talks to you, her neck is still moved. You know what I'm saying? And that's her way of like, I'm telling you off. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, sit still, look at me in the face, and view your points that you're making to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I would take these points into consideration. If I'm wrong, I apologize, and we could come to some type of common ground. But our people lack fucking reasoning, and the way they deal with each other is like fucking animals.
Yep.
Quick precept, Bob.
Cut.
You just made your point.
Nah, yeah, I was just elaborating, but go ahead.
Come. 2 Thessalonians 3:2 is that we may be delivered from unreasonable and wicked men, for all men have not faith.
Right. Unreasonable. And you don't wanna hang around someone's like that. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I could talk to you out now. I ain't got shit to say to you. You know what I'm saying? Because we all got to remember we want the Lord to have mercy on us. See, a 2/3 nigga, he's not seeking the mercy of the Lord. He's not even thinking about the Lord. So he ain't trying to show no fucking mercy nowhere near around the board.
He ain't thinking about the
Or
Lord.
he,
Oh, my bad.
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say he ain't thinking about the Lord till he ultimately put in the jam or faced with death. Then he want to
Right.
get religious.
Mm-hmm.
Cut.
Con. I
But
want.
it don't work like that.
Con.
Niggas get locked up. Niggas leave the truth that I knew from years ago. They get locked up now. And now they want to, like, reach out to me. What the fuck? Like, no. Hell no. I ain't about to, hell no. That shit don't work like that.
Right.
You know, and that's one thing I hate about Islam and these other religions. You be a nigga on the street, then you go to jail and be Islamic, then you come on the street and be a nigga again.
Yep.
It don't fucking work like that. Especially not with this truth. Although the Lord did say in their affliction they shall seek me early.
Yep. And a lot of them jail Muslim niggas, man, they ain't a Muslim when they out. When they out on the streets, they not a Muslim to Ramadan.
Mm-hmm.
Then they all
Shit,
live.
even in jail, right? Even in jail, uh, up here, I can speak for if you blood and you Muslim and another blood Muslim come, you cool. They are assalamu alaikum you. However, if a Crip Muslim come and you say assalamu alaikum, is fuck you.
The fuck?
Same
Blood.
people.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
but if you of the rival gang, but you still of the same religion, it's fuck you.
Wow. That's it's
I gotta
crazy.
preach that fast.
And that's the unreason of our people, man. And that shit is crazy, man.
Mhm.
That's right. You can grab that, bro.
Khan, this is Matthew chapter 24, and I'm gonna start at 29. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because ye build the tombs of the prophets and garnish the sepulchres of the righteous, and say, if we had been in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. Wherefore ye be witnesses unto yourselves that ye are children of them which killed the prophets. So basically, these 2/3, like these regular niggas that we see in the street, these Bloods, Crips, just the regular street nigga, the regular nigga. They are the ones that persecuted the prophets in the past, the ones that wanted to put your house out of death, like
Yep.
because we in that third, fourth generation, pretty much.
Uh,
You know what I'm saying? The generation that Yahushua was talking about, um, you know, when he was saying that, when he was talking about that generation, is talking about the one that we in right now. So these regular niggas that we see got tattoos on their necks and their faces and all that, they was coming against the prophets. They was even coming against our Lord Yahushua when he was walking the earth, man. Because everything
Yeah.
was a circle,
They like the example of the malefactor on the left side of Yahusha.
Right. Yup. Yup. Huh.
That's right. I had a quick one
right.
too for the elder
Okay.
because you had asked about the other translation. I wanted to read 2 Peter 2:12 in the GNT because it goes right into what you was talking about. So it says here,
Beautiful.
2 Peter 2:12, but these people act by instinct, like wild animals born to be captured and killed.
Woo! Woo! Damn, that TNT is on fire tonight.
I'm gonna go buy me a GNT right after this.
Yo, that TNT ain't got no mercy on niggas.
Hey, we was making an example of being unreasonable men. If you face to face with a wild animal, a wolf or a lion, you can't reason with them. They only gonna act on
Hell no.
they only gonna act on instincts they know.
Right.
Right, but look, see, I I like the wilderness. Like I'm a fisherman. I be in the mountains. I be in lakes. I be in the fucking ocean. Like I love nature. Like I be. Hey, you get me on a boat somewhere. Like I ain't about to be by the shore. Like I'll be the wind. Like out in the ocean type shit. So uh, like I just love like the creation of the Lord. Like period. Like mountains. Like the natural earth. You know what I'm saying? Waves and shit like that. I'm just fascinated with shit like that. However, I was with one brother. He from the hood and shit. But a lot of people in the hood, they just stick to that environment.
Yep.
So I'm like, yo, we about to go deep sea fishing. So he like, yeah, but he was like, yo, how far y'all go out? I'm like, yo, shit, man. Sometimes we can't even see land. That's why it's called deep sea. He like, nah, man, that's too much water for me. Man, if something happened to that boat, man, there's sharks and shit out there. I'm like, yo, you worry about the sharks in the ocean. Man, it's fucking sharks around here, nigga. At least a shark in the ocean won't fuck with you if he ain't hungry.
Yeah.
Or he might nip you if he curious or bump you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And be like, oh, like, but however, like Esau, he like the okras, right? He call them killer whales. Like, listen, man, they fucking animals. Nobody's a fucking, like, an animal is not a killer. You know what I'm saying? They eat if they hungry. If they see a rival, they fuck them up because it's a war. Like the great whites and the okras don't get along. But like, ain't nobody's a killer like fucking Ted Bundy. You just out here slaying shit. You know what I'm saying? They fucking, a whale is a fucking whale. Ain't no fucking killer whale or killer sharks. They fucking animals. If they hungry, they kill, they hunt, they eat. Just like you would do if it wasn't supermarkets.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's just life. I just don't like how Esau put killer on these different type of animals. Like they just out here bodying shit.
Yeah, killer bees.
Killer bees.
Yeah.
Like the bees got demons on. Don't get it wrong. The Lord can make some shit attack you. Like we know from Sirach 28. You know what I'm saying? The Lord could, but it ain't like bees chilling, grouping up with each other, having a meeting like, yo, okay, it's 10,000 of us. We're going to fly through the city of Columbia, and we're just going to fuck everybody up. You see him right there? We're going to fuck them up. Because, we kill niggas. This what we do.
Right. These are gonna go and jump niggas.
Like, yo, no, they animals. They you know what I'm saying?
God.
They animals. The Lord can't put the spirit on them to get at you, but they're not flying around thinking about catching fucking bodies.
Right.
Jake is, though.
Jake is, though.
Jake riding around just trying to catch a body or catch a easy lick, man.
Yep.
Right.
Hey, and going off the elder's point, when he's talking about Jake being scared of water, bro, that's how much of a residual effect that this transatlantic slave trade had on us, man, because most Jake can't swim, most Jake scared of water. Why, man? Because them the same ones coming back that was traveling from the coast of Africa, coming all the way over here. What were we doing? They were getting thrown over if they were sick. You know what I'm saying? So the water was like a point of fear for them. And that's why a lot of Jake can't swim. A lot of Jake scared of water. Like me myself, I love the outdoors, but even when I go to the beach, I'm like, man, hey, if water go past my knees, I'm not going in there. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
right.
It is what it is.
Now that's a nice point. Hey, Jake even scared of the living waters.
Yeah.
God.
God.
I'm not a great swimmer. You put me in the ocean, I'll probably drown. I could swim a lake or a pool, but like deep water, like nah. But I just like gravitate to like nature. But I just wanted to bring that point that like animals attack for like a reason. or you know what I'm saying, or they feel threatened or some shit like that. Jake could just attack you. You know what I mean? For no apparent reason a lot of time, or if they do have a reason, it's like real small and fucking stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like you go to L.A., like the New York Yankee hat in L.A., it's a neighborhood Crip hat. So it actually means the Y means young and the N means neighborhood, young neighborhood. So if you go to L.A. with a fucking blue fucking New York Yankee cap on, you know what I mean? You're liable to get either approached or possibly even shot. You know what I'm saying? Because of the hat. Now they probably like, yo, you could tell them too, like, nah, nigga, I'm from New York. They'd be like, yeah, but take that off. You'd be like, nah, I ain't take my hat off. They'd be like, yo, man, take that. I just told you, don't be offended. It's a New York Yankee hat. I'm from New York. But still, take that off. You know what I'm saying? So now it's a problem. Like I gave you understanding where I was from. I gave you, like, you shouldn't be alone. You can hear my accent. You can see the Timberlands. You can see all of that shit. I'm a fucking East Coast dweller. Like, I'm out here to see my aunt. And you really, like, pressing some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, you can't even wear a Houston Astros hat out there, man, because that's associated with the Hoovers. And you know what I'm saying? You could be from Texas. Man, I'm from Houston, man. I'm visiting, like you said, my aunt, my grandma. They gonna be like, man, nah, that's Hoover. And you know, Crips, they at war with the Hoovers or whatever, even though they hit. You know, niggas be, you know. Well, yeah, you can't wear certain hats, man. Like,
got precept.
Culture, man.
You can't wear Converses.
Yep.
Hey, that 50 Cent shit. Niggas wearing flags because the colors match their clothes. You get caught in the wrong hood and get filled up with holes.
Damn.
I've been patiently waiting for a track to explode on.
And that's the
that get
mentality
rich
of
or
Jake.
die trying shit. But that's the mentality of these animalistic ass niggas. Even the fucking animals don't do that shit.
Right. Hey, I got a quick one. Isaiah 51:20. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets. As a wild bull in a net, they are full of the fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy power.
Right, and that goes into what? Chicago. The bull. Because one symbol for Chicago is the actual bull, the Chicago Bulls. And one thing about Chicago is we all know, I don't know if it's murder capital, but a lot of bodies don't drop there, but a lot of people get shot and a lot of shootings go on there. So same thing with Philly, all these cities. But just to name Chicago, and when you look it up, go to the etymology on Chicago. I think it's going to say Shashawan. It means like stink. And when you go into Shashawan, stink, what does this stink talk about? The body, the murders, the killings, all the shootings and deaths that go on there. And that's that bull, the Chicago Bulls, the bull in the net, the wild city.
Yep. And a couple years ago, I think St. Louis was like the murder capital of America, but then look at the name, St. Louis, a saint. They're going to associate, the name of a city with a saint. But then that's the murder capital of the America. You know what I'm saying?
And Lewis means like light, you know?
See? Yep.
Heavy. Yeah, I got that for you with Chicago. It says Chicago. The word is Chicaconk. Chicaconk. And then it says place of the wild onion at the skunk place. And dead bodies got to smell like that.
Yeah. And it's all spiritual. So that's the Chirac, the shootings, the killings, the bodies, the murders, the fucking, and the bull in the net. So that was hey man, that's prophecy in the making.
Yep. Can I go back to that 2 Peter 12 and 2 and 12?
Yeah. Please do. Shit, please do.
2 Peter 2 and 12. But these people act by instinct like wild animals born to be captured and killed. They attack with insults anything they do not understand.
Ooh.
Damn.
Yep.
And it says what? They act with instinct. And that's being what? Impulsive.
Animalistic.
Right. That's being impulsive. Now, for a woman, if a woman is impulsive, I'm not mad. Because women are self-conscious, but they're not self-aware. It's a difference. Self-conscious is dealing with, like, say you was knocked out and you wake up. I'm like, yo, you conscious? You be like, yeah, that means you up. But if I ask you, what's today's date? And you be like, that means what? You're not self-aware. So women, they don't have, because they're not leaders, they totally wired a different way than we are. So they do shit like they'll put on open-toe sandals in 20-degree weather in the name of being cute, freeze to death, and catch ammonia and die because what? They not self-aware, but they are self-conscious. They can see like, oh, my hair needs to be done. Oh, I'm gaining a little weight. They look at like external things that's basic, but they don't have a deepness awareness of self. Like a lot of times you could get them to talk and speak about shit and tell you their whole life story, and they not knowing that they told you too much information. Why? Because they not self-aware, but they self-conscious. They know they mad, they upset, and they talking to you, but they not really like with Eve. A lot of times they speak as they think. So as, especially if they in their feelings, as thoughts hit their head, it just roll off of their tongue on how it's no real thought being given onto what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of times real easy to trap them into what they're saying. They're very loquacious people. And loquacious just means talkative. You know what I'm saying? So the point I'm making is that if a woman is impulsive, I'm not sweating that. But us as men, we cannot afford to be impulsive. That shit will fuck us up.
Quick precept, and this could apply to the woman as well. Proverbs 29:11. A fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it in till after.
Right, kind. And that's why when you think about it, the Lord deal with men over the woman because he know he wired them a certain type of way. So certain things he need to be done, their genetic makeup isn't able to do it because they bred it a certain way and they've been wired a certain way. Even if you look at it, go right quick, not to get off topic, go right quick to ask Google, do women speak more words than men? And it's going to give you the ratio.
Hey, and even real fast, just like dealing with kids and being around kids, the little women or the little girl, they acquire speech and talk more than a boy. You know, they start speaking early, like full sentences at like 1-2 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because they gossipers.
Yeah.
But you can't really knock them. That's just who they are. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Like they don't really have like logical things to talk about because they're not logical beings. So they gossipers. So they like children. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, men get mad because they look at their woman in the lens of a man. So they be like, yo, only woman who's really grounded not to act and behave that way is if she had a strong father to knock that shit out of her at a young age. Other than that, they kind of still going to be like that, but most of them are having pushed out a degree and they'll be like more calm and settled. But you got that on the talkativeness?
Yep, I got it. It says, this is according to Google, do women speak more words than men? It says women use an average of 20,000 words a day compared to the mere 7,000 that men utter.
Right. And that's probably a light. We ain't talking about the hood rat Bone Creature.
Yeah.
Bone Creature probably putting up like 70,000.
100K a day.
For real. Yeah. It's
Like, yo, what the fuck is you talking about?
Yeah,
I got a quick
I know
doing real fast. Oh, Slocky.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Gun. Just real fast, man. Like, shit, my mom probably hear me right now, but she talk all fucking day. Like, her job is to talk. She talk all damn day. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, how can somebody talk all the time? But that's just how it's the nature of a woman. like all day, nonstop. Like I be having to tell like.
Well, it's just who they are. You can't get mad.
Yeah. But it's like sometimes you can say things in less words. You don't have to say a whole paragraph just to tell me. This.
No, they not logical beings, right? So, men are into things. Women are into people and men are into things, right? Yeah. So women they into, like, if you follow their careers, right? They do shit like being a teacher, right? They do shit like being a nurse. They do shit like being a psychologist. They do shit like being a sociologist, right? Because women are into people. Men do shit like STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. We are into things. So our genetic makeup is totally different. You know what I'm saying? So they're not going to really go off of logic. They don't want to know how an engine works. You know what I'm saying? They just want to ride in a car. You know what I'm saying? But it's just all about respect. Like, if you tell her to tone it down or be like, yo, get off the phone or this and that, so long as she respects you, it's no problem. But as far as them talking a lot, that's just who they are. They're going to gossip. They're going to talk. They're going to talk about people. You know, oh, she said this. They're going to watch TikTok videos. They're going to this and that. They're not going to, if you take the average guy out, he's looking into something, how something is designed or how something worked or how can I build this or what recipe I can mix with this to do this and that. And that's just our genetic makeup. They're followers and we leaders.
And I got this precept real fast too. It's Proverbs 9:13. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing. And we know that word clamorous means talkative, you know?
Right.
So, hey, and you can back that up in the book of Job. The Lord did not impart her wisdom nor understanding, man. So,
right.
You know, they talk,
which means what? Discernment.
Right.
They don't know. They don't like. They can't. They not good decision makers. Matter of fact, one of the worst bosses that is to have is a woman boss.
Yep.
And you could ask other women that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, they'll tell you straight up. That's like one of the worst bosses to have. But I don't want to drift off of the topic and make it about Eve. But that's that impulsive nature, you know, that we read about in Peter's 2:12. But like I said, for men to, women being impulsive, cool, but that's why they need a head over them, you know, to calm their emotions. You know, that man is that rock to keep them in line. You know, I heard one brother say, a woman wasn't made to behave. She was made to find a man that would teach her how to behave. Because if you go into the word husband means planter, like one who plants. And another word for planter is a cultivator. You cultivate the land. So basically a husband is someone who cultivates his woman, meaning you got to clip her branches. Like, a tree is real beautiful outside your house, but if you don't clip the branches, it will break your window. The leaves will fall on your roof. The rain will soak on the leaves. The leaves will gain more weight on the roof. You will get leaks in your roof, crack your ceiling, crack your walls, put leaks and fuck your home up. So a woman is like a tree. She's very beautiful, and she could decorate your home and even make your property go up. However, if you don't clip her branches and cultivate her, she will destroy your house.
Even your foundation.
Yeah, she would fuck your whole foundation up. So that's why the word husband means planter or cultivator. So you cultivate, you clip her branches. If you leave from Eve too long, they will self-destruct. So it's like you have to be around them to keep them in shape. As long as you trim her branches, and you know, and she don't grow wild, she could be a beautiful asset to you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you forget to trim her branches, or you don't have strong enough tools to trim her branches, she will fuck your whole home up.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. If I could go back to 2 Peter 2 and just read a couple verses down.
That's right, Con.
Yeah, it says, going to the middle of the verse, it says, they will be destroyed like wild animals, and they will be paid with suffering for the suffering they have caused. Pleasure for them is to do anything.
Hold up. Ooh, that's some heat, brother.
Yeah. Yep. I'll read it
What's
again.
that? That's that GNT?
Yeah, the GNT, man. Yep.
They will be destroyed like wild animals. Now let's check it out. Look at George Floyd. Look at Trayvon Martin. Hey, if fucking pit bull get loose biting motherfuckers in the neighborhood, what's gonna happen? Police gonna pull out and shoot that motherfucker dead.
Mm-hmm.
And like a wild rabid dog, it's a raccoon running loose, attacking children. What's gonna happen? They gonna pull up and shoot that shit dead. What happened to Jake? They pull up and pop Jake dead on sight, on camera, in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, Sean Bell, all the way to fucking George Floyd.
Yeah.
Amadou Diallo.
Yeah, you name it. You know what I'm saying? So that, hey man, that's prophecy. You know, but hey, the KJV don't word it like that.
Right. Yep. I'm gonna read that 13th part again. It says, and they will be paid with suffering for the suffering they have caused. Pleasure for them is to do anything in broad daylight that will satisfy their bodily appetites.
Ooh. You can't tell me they ain't talk about niggas.
Yeah.
Hey, that Mob Deep shit. Never let the daylight deceive. Cause in the sun's hours, niggas do bleed. Aim for the waist. Something at the top, get shot. Yo, that's Jake though for you. So now the judgment that's spinning back around is heavy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Brute beast. Brute beast. Oh, go into the word brute. Webster that brute. And let's grab some synonyms on brute.
Okay, I got you. Brute. Yeah, that was heavy too, actually. Brute. It says a savagely violent person or animal. He was a cold-blooded brute. An animal as opposed to a human being. An animal as opposed to a human being.
Right. And that's niggas call each other hyenas. Mm-hmm. Niggas call each other, niggas that say me and my hyenas.
I'm a savage.
Niggas that call themselves savages. Niggas that call themselves goblins or goons.
Goblin time.
Yeah.
Demon time.
It's demon time.
Demon. Check this out though. Look what it says for the synonyms: savage, beast, monster, animal.
Right. If you check out monster, right? What Nicki Minaj? Is it Nicki Minaj?
Yeah. Hey, it's just like that movie what Nas has, the movie Monster. You know, they gave you the example of a Jake with some type of resolve with him. Then they showed you the Jake that could be an absolute monster, which was ASAP Rocky. Was it ASAP Rocky car?
Right. Huh.
Yeah, and so that goes back to my fault. I was gonna say real quick. She was the first song she came out that really popped was with Kanye West, and the name of the song was Monster.
Monster, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And a monster is just a fucked up person.
Yeah.
Right. And you got the LA nigga, Monster Cody.
God.
You know, from the 83rd Crips, that's real popular. You know, he wrote that book, The Autobiography of an LA Gang Member. You know, he got the name Monster, you know.
He died.
Oh, he died?
Yeah, I think Monster Cody did.
Oh, I thought he was alive. I know he actually died and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. This is the definition for monster. It says an inhumanely cruel or wicked person. Yep.
Inhumanely cruel or wicked person. Right, you got motherfuckers doing shit that like Jake be beefing, right? But they'll do some shit personally to your kids.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some foul
No
shit.
limit. There's no limit with Jake.
Yeah, you know, even with the Italian mob amongst them, even though a lot of them Jakes, they have like rules.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like no, we don't touch each other family. Like we gonna be fine, but we ain't the family is not involved.
Mm-hmm.
And they all kind of like agreed to that.
Mm-hmm.
Even on Godfather of Harlem with Bumpy Johnson, they was like, listen, what separates Lucky Luciano? He was saying, what separate us from being wild fucking animals?
Right.
He was like, by us not, he was like, we can't like, we gotta beef. It gotta be a certain type of way we beef. Because if we don't beef in a certain type way, that'll make us like basically no different from being wild fucking animals.
Mm-hmm. Hey, if I could make a quick point, Elder, when you mentioned Godfather, in the first Godfather, you know, when the guy comes in, he's trying to get justice for his daughter. She got beat by a dude, right? And the Godfather's like, but did they kill your daughter? And he was like, no. So how could I be justified in killing that man if he didn't actually put your daughter to death? And really, he's going into like what's written in the scriptures, because that's Jake too, you know?
I got to free real fast.
He was going in, and the dude kept asking him, like, I know, but then he was like, but that would make me, I would be going off if I was doing that. Mm-hmm. So it was a certain code of honor that they had and conduct of how to do certain things, you know?
They showed you on the uncut Virgins too, with Don Corleone, his daughter, I think she got smacked by a husband or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like these was like the scenes that was cut out that they showed. And Don, they was like, yo, Don Coley, you know, he a mob boss. He can have dude whack with no problem. Mm-hmm. But they was like, yo, he was like, nah, he was like, never interfere in another man's business or some shit like that. And that was his daughter.
Yeah.
And you know, you a fucking mob boss. So that was like some type structure. Like, and that goes to the scriptures, meddle not in another man's affairs.
Yep.
And you know, and that shit happened a lot amongst Jake. Your fucking female cousin will come to you and be like, oh, I want you to fuck somebody up. But, and say if you do it, I had to stop my brother, my older brother's little, I had to stop him because I'm like, hell no, nigga, the fuck you doing? Like, hell no. I'm like, yo, you gonna do that and do that shit, right? And then what? She gonna probably be back with that nigga the next day or two later.
Yep.
So she loving him and y'all still got rift. Don't do that shit. And I'm like, yo. Yeah, I'm like, yo, first of all, you should talk to that nigga first. Don't just go over there swinging on this nigga or, you know what I'm saying? What if he got the toolie or something and pop your ass or some shit like that? I'm like, yo, because what these women do, that's why I'm glad I ain't got no fucking sisters, man. Because these women, I'm like, yo, if you ain't asked me, should you date the nigga? Don't be calling me, should you fuck him up? Because really, a man is supposed to pick out a woman's due on who she should deal with, because women are terrible mate selectors. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, if you ain't asked my advice, should you fuck with him? You don't come to me, told me he slapped you and shit like that. Even my own sister. I don't want to. I got a sister, but she's not like my sister, because you know how your father, you know, go around fucking other women and shit like that. So I do got a sister, but she just kind of resurfaced. I hardly even know her. You know what I'm saying? So, but if she came like, oh, my boyfriend slapped me, I'm gonna be like, yo, so what the fuck you do to make him slap you and shit? Like, he ain't been fucking slapping you, but most men hear that shit and go off of their hands.
Yep.
Like, yo, you sucked his best friend dick. He should have slapped your ass. But they don't tell you the other side of the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Even with Minister Society, where Alina cousin approached Kane, although he was like hostile doing it, but Kane and Old Dog was wrong because they snuck him and stomped him out. But really, he was like, yo, which one of y'all niggas Kane? He was like, I am. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I don't think you know me. He was like, listen, I got a problem with you dogging my cousin out. This and that. And he came like a man, really. Like, yo, like, this is the situation I'm addressing you on. He ain't come with his homie. Because if you really look at that scene, really, he dealt like a man, and Kane and them dealt like a bitch. Because he came to their hood, he didn't come with his homies. He came by himself.
He put himself out of bounds.
Yeah, he came by himself, and he approached them, not saying let's fight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, his body language was kind of like that, but he addressed the problem. And Kane, but what Kane say? What we supposed to fight over a bitch? And that's kind of what sparked it. He said, I think you should watch who you calling a bitch, homie. And that's when it kind of sparked it. But if Kane said, listen, I don't see why, and he was like, yo, come over here, let's talk. I don't see, now that shit could have went a total different way. Because he was like, what you mean dogging your cousin out? First of all, do you know that she's fucking around with multiple women? Did she tell you that? But no, he just came on the like, yo, well, we supposed to fight over a bitch, antagonizing the situation even more. Then he said, watch who you calling a bitch, homie. Then he snuffed him. That was being what? Impulsive. That's being what? Unfucking reasonable.
Yep.
That's lacking in
intelligence. And then what? Dude came back and sprayed that whole shit up.
Yep.
And that was a judgment of the Lord. But really, they dealt in a fucked up way. If you look at that scene, really.
You want to bring out a precept, Yeshaya?
Con, bro. This is backing up the elder's point, and then you know, the whole bringing back what we was talking about at first, man, about our people. You know what I'm saying? Being likened unto animals, because that's really the Lord cussing us out, man. Because the Lord was calling what the scribes and Pharisees and you know, people that he really detested as what, vipers, foxes. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So just bringing it back full circle. Lamentations 4:3, and that's the spirit you brought it out on the screen. I was holding.
Yeah, this brother had posted it. Strive for the master.
Yep. I was holding it too. Even the sea monsters draw out the breath. They give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people has become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness, man. And I was watching Atlanta. They came out with a new season, and one of the episodes was about a black woman that basically gave up her child to social services.
Oh yeah.
You saw that one?
Yeah, Con, yeah.
Con, and that's real, because a lot of our young kids are in social services because the mother doesn't want them. They detest their dad. Like, oh, your dad's a piece of shit, and oh, you look just like him. I don't want you. You know what I'm saying? And our people we just at such a low point, man. That's why the Lord is liking our people, especially the women dogs. Like Elder was bringing out when Cain, cousin of Cain's girl, talking about.
You echo, bro. You echo. I feel like I need to call echoing right here.
You echoing too.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
That's Satan, man. That we rebuke
the whole time, and they started with the audio.
What about now?
Nah, same.
Yeah.
You know, we can still find it anyway.
Hey, man, you know what? You know, that's cool. You know, I was going to hit a few more points. I was going to go into the Haughty.
Yes, I can hear it. I can hear it too.
Yeah,
that's That's Satan fucking with the stream yard.
Sham, y'all, you the only one coming in clear.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Time. So I will grab a couple more of these for a brew. We can get maybe like a precept or two out.
Nah, the quality kind of distorted, bro. The point is that we gonna give praises to the Lord and close out.
Praises to
Yahweh, Bashem,
hopefully that was edifying to the elect. Shalom. Hey, and it's 144. I just looked at the time. We've been online for 144 minutes and 39 seconds.
God. Beautiful.
So that's all the spirit. But hey, shalom, brother. Y'all about to
Shalom.